So if you're brand new to Shade, then you may need to set up your workspace. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through exactly how to go about doing that. Now, whether through booking a demo or starting for free, you would have downloaded Shade. And downloading Shade could not be easier. If you go to the bottom of our website, you'll be able to find a download desktop app. You simply select whatever system you're using. For me, it's Apple Silicon. I'll simply download that, and then I'll be able to follow the setup process super easily. It's got to be the easiest setup ever. You just simply click through the menus and you're good to go. But once you have Shade installed, then you'll be prompted to log in, and then you'll create a workspace name. So you'll be given this menu, and we can simply create tutorials. That's what we'll call this. We have a team of 1 to 5. That's how I'm using Shade. Teams domain. Well, I guess my domain is literally shade.inc, so we'll do that. So now our workspace will be created, and for free, we're just going to get to test out 20 gigs of storage. So for this instance, I'll invite my team members later, and I'll start with a blank drive to create my first drive. But if I wanted to, I could always create a templated drive that is kind of like pre-set up with metadata fields and all that. But for this instance, I'll just start with a blank drive. Now I can name that drive, and for this one, obviously we're gonna name it YouTube tutorials, because I'm gonna be putting all my YouTube tutorials in this drive, and I can select a region. For me, that would be East North America. Create the drive, and now we've got our drive. Within this drive, you're pretty much set up, good to go. You could mount the drive immediately. We'll go ahead and do that. Boom, now we've got YouTube tutorials mounted there. You can come in here and start dumping footage immediately onto this drive. If you want to, you could come into your drive's settings, and then this is where you could access the metadata and create a bunch of metadata fields if you wanted to, simply by clicking that button over there and then just creating the metadata. I would suggest doing this if you're about to dump a lot of footage in. Go ahead and set up your AI autofill metadata attributes, and then as your footage comes in, it'll get auto tagged. Obviously, it happened the other way around, but I just kind of like that, setting it up that way. If you want to connect your drive to a Slack channel, you can do that here. You can also adjust any sort of settings around that specific drive in general. But then within that, everything else is pretty self-explanatory. We can change preferences. We can adjust our profile. We can change how notifications react within the workspace. When we come down here to members, there's actually a video tutorial up on our YouTube channel right now breaking down everything you need to know about members. But this is where you would actually work on that, add new members, things of that nature. Below that, we can manage and view our usage. So how much of our storage are we using? How many seats we have remaining? And we get a nice little readout of everything up here. We have plans. So if we needed to change our plan, right now we're on the free plan. But if we want to move up to growth or even go up to enterprise, we could do that depending on our needs, basically. Here, you'll also be able to see all of your billing. And so that's always helpful. Obviously, this example is on a free plan, but as I move up in storage, billing is going to be super important. Now, if you're looking to do any sort of automation or integrations, then you can actually access API keys right here, down here in the integration section. And for developers, you'll also be able to see webhook, the Zapier integration key, and your workspace ID. So all of that's going to be super helpful as you're really building out your workflows. In regards to just general workspace setup, some of the same things you would do if you're organizing a local drive are some of the same things you do in a Shade drive. So if I just made my YouTube tutorial drive, I might want to make a folder template. So to do that, I come in here, create a new folder, and I name this folder tutorial. Then within inside this folder, I would create a couple more folders. So I would do screen recordings, because every tutorial has a screen recording. I will add audio, talking head, which is literally what you're watching right now. And we'll go ahead and add exports. And then from there, I can go back to the main section, right click this folder structure that I just made, and save it as a template. Now I can name it whatever I want. In this case, I'm going to name it tutorials. If needed, I could write a description And I can save it to the entire workspace or just to the specific drive. For me, I'm just going to save it to the specific drive because that's all I need. But I just hit create template. And now when I want to create a new folder, if I'm making a new tutorial, I can simply right click, create new folder, and then toggle over to the tutorial section. I have a template. I can name it Workspace Setup. And then I can double check and make sure, okay, it's adding all of these elements, confirm and create, done. Now a new tutorial folder is made. And when I click into it, I have all of the folders I'm expecting to have right there within the folder structure. And the really nice thing about this is when I open up my mounted drive, everything is there as well. So just because I mounted the drive, this folder template that I already made exists right within here. And a quick note on folder templates, you could actually like delete the original folder and it's going to disappear within the app, but then that folder template will still exist. So here we don't have that original folder we made, but we can still right click and select that tutorial's folder template. That is pretty much everything you need to know about how to set up your Shade workspace. If you're curious about what some of the other things in the workspace do, you can check out this video all about how to navigate around your workspace and everything you need to know about that. But really, setting up a workspace can be super simple. It doesn't have to be complicated, and you can get started pretty quickly. So let me know in the comments if you have any questions on this. And as always, thanks for watching and thanks for using Shade.